Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of GeekStorm. I'm Sean Hilton, and today I'm joined by my co-host and good friend, Michael Harrison. We are back after some short time. Going to take a quick time to thank Lauren Gray and Mike Dukes and probably Nick Gray for stepping in to help us out while we've been off doing real world life stuff. Not important stuff, but life stuff. But now we're back. We're excited to be here. Kind of an insult to Josh King at this point, really.
Insult or assault?
Insult.
Insult to Josh King.
It's
Probably
an insult
is.
to Josh.
He did a solid job.
Yeah.
He did a solid job. There's no reason not to have him
and
back
right
on the
now,
show.
really, and honestly, in GeekStorm, we need somebody explaining to people, why Cody is having problems with
Who's
the
Cody?
servers, the Amazon Fire Stick.
KODI?
Yeah, Cody.
I didn't know. I didn't notice any problems.
If you know, there's a lot of servers that are down right now.
Oh, okay.
Because there's been some breakdowns coming out of Europe and England, I believe.
I see.
And then we could also use somebody on to discuss, the NES and Super NES,
Sure.
the mini versions.
Sure.
Getting like 25 games on one of these mini versions, or you could just buy, a Raspberry Pi emulator for like $30 and get 5,000 games.
5,000.
So we need to have Josh King on to get tech on Geek and teach people all the important
Sounds
things.
great.
So hey, this episode of GeekStorm is being filmed at Kokomo Toys and Collectibles in the heart of downtown Kokomo, Geek Street, 111 East Sycamore, just down the street from Comics Cubed, my establishment, and right next door to American Dream and Hi-Fi. Mike, been gone a bit, got a little thing right here. Perfect and fixed. So, let's get into it. What do we got? Man, there's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of
So
stuff.
much stuff.
We missed a lot of stuff.
Trailers first, TV first, movies first.
Let's talk about the YouTube thing real quick.
You really? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Because we usually do in memoriam type of things at the beginning. This was something kind of horrible.
Yes.
So there's this young couple, very young couple. They have a child, I believe.
They're teens.
Yeah. And they want to be famous. And the reason I bring this up, and I think it sounded like you were going to bring it up too, is because I know a lot of children who want to be famous YouTubers. It's a pathway to fame, they think.
It is something that did not exist when we were kids.
Right.
That now when they fill out something in school, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Right.
There isn't I don't know, an astronaut. No, it's I want to be a YouTuber.
Right. So they think that's the way to get famous. So this couple, apparently the genius, which was the guy, had decided somebody else did this awesome stunt. I want to do it too. I want to be famous. So he decides to hold on to a book, and I don't know, do we know the title of the book?
It was an encyclopedia.
An encyclopedia.
I would imagine a Britannica. We don't know what letter.
He holds it to his chest while he has convinced his girlfriend or fiance or whatever, wife maybe.
Girlfriend, fiance, and baby mama in progress as
She's
well.
5 months pregnant.
Yes.
To shoot him with a gun.
Yes.
Through the book, because I saw it on YouTube and the book stopped the bullet.
Yes.
And so she stands about 3 or 4 feet away from him.
She has to be convinced to do it,
Right.
according to the stuff.
Yes.
They had YouTubed or tweeted earlier that they were going to do the stunt. She was very reticent to do this stunt, was talked into it by him.
She shoots him dead because the book does not stop the bullet. I don't know. Maybe she got a hold of the L instead of the M. I don't know which version, which one she had.
This is an unsafe stunt, and no matter what condition you're doing it in, unless you are an actual Hollywood stunt master that has got blanks or something like that, and even then, there's ways to do these sorts of things.
This was a 50 caliber Desert Eagle from
Exactly.
from 3 feet away or something like
This
that.
wasn't, now don't get me wrong, yes, I'm sure in this stunt where you tested it with a 22,
Right.
the small, or a super small handgun of some sort with
Right.
a really thick book, you might be able to pull that off. I would still be wearing Kevlar,
Right.
but you might be able to pull it off.
Sadly.
But a 50 caliber,
Yeah.
it is not the strongest handgun on the planet anymore, but at one point I believe it was.
Sure, it's strong enough.
This is built to take down elephants and bears.
Right.
There's nothing that you would hunt with a 50 caliber that you're going to eat afterwards because there's not going to be enough left. So yes, they went on YouTube, they filmed it, and the guy's dead.
It's just sad. It's sad that people will go to that length. Even let's say he'd survived. Say it stopped it. Okay,
Sure.
That's still the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Okay, so to go to that length because you want to be famous, because you think getting more views is going to make you more liked, is going to make you more popular. It's just a ridiculous kind of thing, and I'm sure that's something that maybe in Hollywood actors and actresses go through that are working. You know, if I could just get this part, I could do this, and we don't see that.
What am I willing to do for fame?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And again, unsafe, crazy stuff. And I've been watching a lot more YouTube lately. I've never, up until I got sick a couple months ago, and was like, I watch crap when I get sick because I don't care.
Sure.
And so YouTube, for whatever reason, now I watch quite a bit. I only follow 1 or 2 people regularly, but that's going to be a new segment I think we could do. Is like every week pick a YouTube thing that we want to share with the world, and we'll talk about. There's lots of famous stuff, and Kai in there can give us some tips on who to follow. What'll be hot. So there you go. Don't do stupid stuff on YouTube. It's not worth it.
Don't be dumb.
Now she's 5.5 months pregnant and is looking at a possibility of second-degree manslaughter.
That's awful.
So look at. You know, I think they're saying like 5 years is what she could get. Now, with the circumstances, the only good thing for her about this is the fact that it is so well publicized that she didn't want to do it, that she was against it, that she was talked into it, she was coerced into doing it. You know, there's enough out there to show that this is obviously a situation that was not premeditated. Well, I guess it was premeditated.
One of Kyan's favorite games is called Dumb Ways to Die. Are you familiar with this game? It's the goofiest little game. It's like a little handheld game, and every 3 seconds a new horrible way to die comes up, and it's your job not to die. You know, whether it's feeding a bear or
feeding a bear.
Yeah,
bad idea.
And it has a catchy little song that is in my head all the time because he listens to it all the time. All the different dumb ways to die. This is definitely a dumb way to die.
Not a good thing. So, on more happier note, we've got a lot of trailers have dropped, and I mean, we are right now.
More trailers have dropped than in a Kansas tornado.
Wow. All right.
Let's say Kansas and a tornado.
Sure.
Trailers drop.
Yes, I got it.
I'd like to see a graphic if possible.
So right now we're in the middle of the summer flood deluge of movies coming out, and with that has come a lot of trailers. We've been hit with Pirates of the Caribbean, Wonder Woman, Cars 3, Baby Drivers just dropped in the middle of the storm, and it'll probably be forgotten, unfortunately. We get In Something Me 3.
Despicable Me 3?
Despicable Me 3's
or Despicable Me
dropping. That's probably going to take.
Despicable. If you were Indespicable, boy.
Despicable Me. That's probably going to take first this week, I would guess.
Sure.
But I mean, stuff's coming. Like Guardians is out of the theater. Alien Covenant is out of the local theater. I mean, they're now
rolling over.
Yeah, there's just a lot. But with it comes trailers. Trailers. So first one I want to talk about because I think it relates really well to what we do, is the new Jackie Chan trailer. Love Jackie Chan.
Who doesn't?
Loved him since Cannonball. And he's got a new one coming out called Foreigner. This is one of his bigger budget ones. Now, for those who aren't huge Jackie fans, you need to know that he does a couple of movies every year. He does 1 or 2 directly for the Asian market, which we usually don't see here unless it's on video or Netflix or something like that. And budget-wise, But he always does every 2 or 3 years a big budget film that is for both markets and is directed towards American and European market as well. This is one of his bigger budget flicks. It looks like Pierce Brosnan is also starring in it with him as his co-lead, and it's Jackie Chan, so action adventure flick. Have you seen it?
I have not seen the trailer, and I know we will talk about this morning very quickly, but I watched the rest of them, but I didn't get to that one. I do, from what I saw on the stills anyway, it looks like another where he's trying to do the more serious stuff, more serious role. He's done that before, and it hasn't been bad at all. So you can't be in an industry for 60 years and not absorb enough to be a decent actor. So and besides that, I don't know how much action is actually going to be in it. But
it looks like this is him embracing his age and taking a role that will fit well with that. It has a very Liam Neeson-esque kind of feel coming from the Taken films, however, with a much more John Wick style, because in this, it's a vengeance flick.
I see.
So in the trailer, you see a terrorist attack and his daughter's killed, dies in his arms. And he wants to know, he believes that the Pierce Brosnan character knows who made the bomb. All he wants to know is the names of who made the bomb. So the trailer is following him, and it comes, as I said, it looks to me a lot like John Wick meets if I had to pick 3, this is John Wick, Taken, and The Raid. Wrap all those 3 together with a Jackie Chan package.
2 out of 3, not bad. Well, first Taken was still good, so yeah.
So there you go. And he's definitely coming across as that more quiet, toned down character. He's not like over the top, except for the action aspect. So looks really sharp, looks really good. The budget looks like it's got a really good budget to it. Some great shots that we saw. Now, whether it's any good, the thing that keeps holding Jackie back, I think, is just his speech. He's been, as you said, in the thing forever. He's done a lot of stuff, but he's never really seemed to have picked up English incredibly well. He can speak it, but he doesn't speak it eloquently.
And right or wrong, for American audiences, that's tough. That's tough to get the fact. It's tough to differentiate a good acting job and just a passable acting job when there's a language barrier.
Yeah, for him, I think his pattern and cadence almost borders on they could dub it over sometimes. So just depending.
What else?
Well, I think the one that we're gonna be mean to, so let's get it out of the way, is going to be the Inhumans, which isn't a movie, but it is a movie. But it's a movie based for television. So the Inhumans is a Marvel property, and it is getting a lot of money thrown at it. It appears, and it's getting a lot of television time. Now it's going to be a television series on ABC with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. universe, and in the Marvel universe as a whole, in the movie universe. But they have filmed the first one with IMAX equipment. So the first episode or the first 2 episodes will be cut together to form one long episode, and that will debut at IMAX theaters and movie theaters. And then I would imagine will also then, in 2 weeks after that, probably
be on TV.
Show up as television, so you won't have to pay to see it.
Correct.
This looks like just the worst train wreck of IMAX used shite that I have seen them ever thrown at a screen in an attempt to bring in an audience. The cast looks bad as the characters. The action looks bad. The over-the-top bad guy brother trying to take over from his brother King. I suppose we could dig up Shakespeare's grave and have him just rewrite some of this crap. But everything about this looks bad.
Yeah, it's unfortunately it doesn't seem like it seems like maybe they threw a ton of money at IMAX, and I don't know, maybe IMAX threw money at them to do it. I don't know, but they didn't really spend as much on the production at all. Now it's not a finished product. It's the first look at it. It's actually like a third look at it.
This is coming in like in September though, so this isn't like
it should be mostly done
down the pipe. This is probably in the can.
Here's where they lost fans right off the bat. They lost fans when they put that picture out because
that was horrible.
The Medusa hair was just flat. Looked like not great.
But
hair.
even live now in the trailer, still looks bad.
Well, I was gonna say the next still they put out showed her hair in a more Kirby-esque type of flow, like maybe they had some special effect done to it on that still. But then we see, again, on this trailer, none of that's happening. Okay,
it is completely more. She looks Morticia-like, but a heavier set Morticia with giant red hair.
I'm not an Inhumans expert, but I'm pretty sure Medusa is kind of a badass.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
she's like
to see her do nothing but plead for her husband and plead for why would you do this and not be using her powers. Well, that's kind of ridiculous.
And here's the thing, in my mind, and maybe they're toning this down on purpose, and there's some story aspect to it, but her hair is animated. It is prehensile hair. It should be like Spawn's cape or Batman's cape, even when she's doing nothing. I don't expect it to be doing, octopus arms, but I would expect that every scene that you see that hair in, there should be wisps of it.
There's not even a hint. It's the opposite of how it should be.
Exactly.
It's pow like that.
Yeah, it looks like it was chiseled onto her head.
If it seems like we're harping on one particular thing, it's because if they don't do that, if they don't do that, what else is not going to happen? What else is going to get messed up?
They gave me 3 seconds of Lockjaw, who's one of my favorite Inhumans. Because we all know he's a normal Inhuman that just happens to look like a dog. That's a fact.
I know. Raccoon's not actually a raccoon.
It's true. So they showed him doing the teleportation thing and getting people out of trouble real quick. That looks like it could be fun. But again, if you're just going to use it as comic relief.
I get the idea we're going to see almost no Attilan or Atalan or however you pronounce it.
You saw him in like one quick scene.
I get the feeling it's going to be fish out of water down in Hawaii, which is actually Atlanta. Because Lockjaw takes him, and I don't know if it takes who else, but down to Earth. And I get the fish idea it's going to be a lot. I could be wrong.
I hope so. You know what? And I'll be the first to say this. If one, I'll go see it in IMAX as long as it's at a reasonable time, reasonable price, and whatever. I'm going to see it, and if I'm wrong, or if I feel like we've been too harsh, I'm going to be the first to come out and go, you know what, wrong. We were wrong. This is great. Blah blah blah. Surprise me. I want to be wrong. I want this to be good. I want.
It's got
this
an uphill
property to
battle,
be fun.
and here's the final thing that makes me not have too much confidence in it is the showrunner is Buck, who did Iron Fist. Not great. Not great.
Yeah, not my favorite. And I
great.
wanted it to be.
I know.
I defended it a long time, but now I've come to my senses. And,
What's next?
There's we are right here at Kokomo Toys and Collectibles.
We are, there's no question.
And I don't think that there's a more appropriate movie to talk about in Kokomo Toys and Collectibles than The Cult of Chucky.
Oh my! Is there a Chucky doll in here somewhere? I know there is.
He's got to have one somewhere. We didn't set it up, but Cult of Chucky's coming out, so it's another. It looks like it's canon from the trailer in line. It also kind of looks like it could be a reboot, but I think it'll be like the Doctor Who TV show reboot, where yes, it's new,
Right.
but it does take into account all the stuff that's happened before.
Right.
So, I don't have a lot to say other than the CG for Chucky looks really good now.
Sure.
I mean, he looks like a much more cool-looking character.
Realistic.
Or maybe that's bad.
He looks like a realistic evil doll
Or
instead
maybe
of a fake
maybe
evil doll.
he should look more like a fake. I mean, he's a doll.
Yeah, right.
That didn't change the fact that he's an animated
That's
doll.
an excellent point. Maybe he should be completely practical.
Yeah, so
Maybe.
yes, he looks smoother and that looks cooler, I suppose, but in essence he should be like something from here, like come to life.
Right.
So he should be, jointed and clunky and
You're
weird.
right. You're right.
But otherwise it looks like a fun little slasher, flick from the 80s.
It looks
updated
super
2017.
predictable. It looks like they threw 2017 money at a 90s show. It was
But
funny.
now, and looking at all this from like Freddy and
Right.
Michael Myers, which of those weren't predictable,
You're right.
really?
You're
I mean, you kind of, the first ones might have been a surprise, but after you got into number 2 or 3, you really had a formula. So he is going to go around a sanitarium, it looks like,
Sure.
or an institution, whatever they call them nowadays,
Right.
and whack people who have,
in horrible ways, the most horrible ways you can imagine.
it's Chucky meets Saw and CG'd. So kind of interesting. If I got a feeling that if you like the other Chucky stuff, you're going to probably dig it.
Sure.
And I could see it easily bringing in a new audience finally.
Maybe.
I could see them, you had the Saws, you had the Conjurings, you've had a couple of these Blair Witchy kind of things go viral and get popular. So I could see this finally getting a new audience with this look.
And then next we'll get another Bride of Chucky. Because you had the
Well, I would
cameo.
think at this point it's the offspring of Chucky.
You had the cameo
Or
at
the
the
Chucky
end.
twins.
You had the cameo at the end.
Is that her?
Of the actress who played the actress.
Bride of Chucky, like
Yeah.
a classic or something.
I can't remember.
Remember?
Lily something? I can't remember.
Okay.
Her name. Anybody? No? All right. Not important.
Well, there's more trailers. Man, there's so many trailers.
Yeah, there was. What was the other one I watched? That Death Note.
Death Note.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Netflix original.
I knew nothing about that before I watched the trailer today, and it does look like a very, I hate to say original, but it looks like kind of an original concept. I kind of liked it.
It's had a very long history now in the Asian market, where it has been television, movie, and manga comic book.
Okay.
And it's been around for a long time.
Was it live
over
action?
a decade?
Live action over there?
No. Well, they have done a live action, I believe, over there as
Okay.
well.
This is
but-
a big budget.
Yeah, I don't know if it started off as a manga or if it started off as the TV, cartoon thing or
Right.
whatnot. But very dark. So the idea is that high school student gets a hold of a book called the Death Note. You write someone's name in it. That person dies, and they usually die in, much like his game, screwed up weird ways.
It's almost always a trailer in a tornado that comes right down on top of them.
There you go.
Almost always.
Very similar to the cheating death movies
Okay.
that were coming.
Oh
out a
yeah,
while ago.
Final Destination.
Final Destination
Yeah.
kind of a feel.
Okay,
So, and then there's this cool looking manga style character.
Yeah.
Who's the big demony guy, and there's some other stuff. But this is only a movie. I thought it was going to be a series. It appears to be like an hour and a half, hour and 50-minute movie.
And that was Willem Dafoe, right? Did I hear that right?
Sounded a lot like William
Sound like
Dafoe. I imagined the Green Goblin or something getting ready to come out and eat my face off. So.
That'd hurt.
So yeah, that looks interesting. The Ranch, also from Netflix, just came out with season 3.
Not a fan.
Liked it quite a bit. I thought it was fun. It's one of those really depressing comedies.
See?
It's
That shouldn't
weird.
be.
It's like the new thing, though.
Then it's exactly what it was supposed to be because that's what I felt from it, and I don't want that. So.
Yeah. Well, Orange is the New Black. I feel is the same way.
Oh.
It's
more
got
drama.
very funny elements in it,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, it's not a comedy.
Right.
And so I feel that's the same thing with The Ranch. which then leads us into Glow,
Oh.
the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling,
Oh.
which has
My favorite part is when Show Nuff comes out and he's like,
Glow?
who's the Shogun of Harlem?
That's Barry Gordy.
That's not it.
That's not it at all.
When you got the glow.
You've got to kiss my Converse with shit like that, buddy. No, this is a new 10-episode, 30-minute situation dramedy kind of thing that they've just put out based on the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling from the 80s television show when they came out with a product that would not necessarily compete with the WWE,
right,
but would filter off some of the fans of the WWE into all women's promotion.
Might have been early 90s.
I think it was like 85, 86, I want to say.
Okay.
And now it might have lasted up until the 90s.
I don't remember.
But
3 seasons.
What I found interesting about it was that after trying to do some research so we could know what to exactly talk about, saw all the episodes, I enjoyed it, it was a lot of fun, but they came across the idea, the showrunners and creators, by watching a documentary about Glow,
okay, we saw
which
that.
we had seen on Netflix.
Right, right.
So they're watching their own Netflix stuff and like, hey, we could do something with that.
Yeah.
And then made a thing. I think we're both going to agree that Mark Maron steals everything that he's in this thing.
He did. He's very
hilarious.
funny. You can tell he's a seasoned performer, and he really does. I don't know how much he had to do with writing or how much they let him kind of riff a little bit, but he was very funny.
So the idea, 10 episodes, it all drops, and it is a story of how Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling Glow gets off the ground from before it has begun. It follows some fictional, the whole thing is fictionalized, based on it. This is based on a true story kind of thing. And you follow about 7 characters through 2 main characters being good friends who've had a major falling out, and that drama in their real life actually coming together to coalesce into the big bad guy and the big good guy of their first season.
Right.
And so the whole first season has virtually no actual wrestling in it. It is almost all the Bad News Bears learning to be that, with the culmination, the last episode actually being the first show that they taped.
Right.
So very funny, but also, like Orange is the New Black, which I think shares showrunners and creators, dark. It is not, it's not that every 30 seconds, 45 seconds there's a laugh, bell kind of thing going on.
It's smart funny.
Yes. And it's also kind of a kick in the guts once in a while.
Sure, yeah.
So
they got some really good actors. Like you said, we said Mark Moran. The lead actress, the one that plays the
Destroyer.
Yeah,
Ruth.
She is from Mad Men. Also, the guy she cheats with, the other girl's husband, he's from Mad Men.
I didn't get that. Now, one of the major aspects, the whole reason that there's drama is that a down on her luck friend, who's really comes across as a good person, ends up cheating with the husband of her best friend. Never got that. I mean, they show it, you know it happened, they explain it, but the entire time I'm like, why? They never explain. She says one line about it halfway through when somebody finally questions her, and she just says something about being sad and pathetic kind of thing.
She was drunk the first time it happened, and then she was feeling sad and pathetic the second time.
And it was just like, but I suppose, if anything, this is a warning about alcohol abuse.
Sure.
Take a look at it. I'd be like,
all you teetotalers out there,
I don't
know
get
what we're talking about.
Don't get it at all.
Yeah. I knew.
I didn't get that aspect.
But very fun show, and if you haven't watched it, you should watch it. It's a very easy watch, being that it's only half hour long. So they get in, show you stuff, do stuff, and they get out pretty quickly, and you can break away anytime you want to.
And there is some cameos for real wrestling fans. John Morrison makes an appearance. Clay, I can't remember. Carlito's in there.
One of the Guerreros is that trainer at the beginning.
No, that's Morrison.
Is it?
That's John Morrison. Yeah.
The trainer? The guy that came in to show him how to wrestle?
Yeah, that's John Morrison.
Okay. I thought it was the Guerrero.
Nope.
Guerrero.
No. Now, he is on the Lucha Libre.
Did you know that Ivory from the Divas was an original?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I watched the documentary.
I didn't know that. Oh, I don't remember that. That was 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she was great. So, but there's for those who are wrestling fans, there are several little cameos throughout the thing, and some fairly well-known faces pop up.
Yeah, it's fun.
It was good. None. Now, if there are any of the actual Glow, the original members, those I don't see or remember. So.
I don't know. But I understand, according to that documentary, they still get together every once in a while.
Yeah, they had a reunion. And I mean, that's also nostalgia conventions, pop culture conventions at this point.
Right, which
You know,
they'll probably get a resurgence. They'll get some more people wanting
I
them
would
to
think. I
have
mean,
these
I
shows.
put on the Kokomo Con in October,
Sure.
and if we had the chance to have, one of those members for, we'd bring them in.
Matilda the Hun, if you're out there, get a hold of Sean. You can get on the.
Matilda the Hun.
Yes.
I don't remember that one.
Well, oh, you don't remember?
Don't remember Matilda the Hun. I don't remember their names that much.
I don't either. I watched the trailer this morning.
Oh, that's great. All right. So what's going on in the world of television? Things are a little lulling, and standard, but
not a lot.
we're still
Glow's
seeing-
definitely been the highlight of the last month or so.
Okay.
Not a lot's going on. Game of Thrones is getting ready to come back out. We just finished.
I just had a video that caught me up on the entire thing.
That's crazy. We just finished *Handmaid's Tale*. It's very good.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Sharp?
Super dark. Super
Now,
depressing.
what was that? Because that was also a cable.
That
company,
was
wasn't it?
Hulu.
Hulu. All right.
Yeah, it's hard for me to keep things up because I don't really go through the traditional whatever to get to them. But that was very good. There's another new Hulu one called Harlots that just came out too, and that's supposed to be in the same vein, and we kind of want to check that out.
So a lot of more darker adult
Yeah.
content going on with
Yeah.
these Hulu shows, which
Yeah.
doesn't fall underneath their standard cable package, so they can get away with doing that sort of thing.
doing and saying whatever they want to do.
So,
But it's all been pretty good. I'm not a fan of Sense8. I watched the first couple episodes, but apparently it got canceled, and then they're going to do a movie to wrap up the
like some kind
storyline.
of 2-hour finale
Sure.
to give people closure. And I would imagine it was worth Netflix throwing the cash at it to stop tweets and people
Sure.
sending
Sure.
them letters
Sure.
and crap like that, which does give you a little bit of insight into Netflix. A studio, ABC, NBC back in the day,
Right.
would have canceled something and it's done.
Bye-bye.
Now maybe there's
No more Fall Guy.
Yeah, they're not. It ended on a cliffhanger. You're never going to know.
Right.
Now, yes, there has been on occasion a show might get that kind of treatment where it gets enough hoopla that they bring it back, but it's never just finish it. It's to do usually another season or even a short season.
Right.
Netflix got enough grief about this that they're going to come back and give you some closure,
Right.
which is something a regular studio would never do.
Right.
So I think, in sense to fans, this is a good sign that you have a studio that, whether it's true or not, I get the impression from a move like that that they care about me.
Yeah.
And, in this day and age with all the cord cutters and cable falling apart and whatnot, I think it's a really good idea, guys.
Yeah.
That 2-hour movie might cost you a fortune, and I don't even watch that show, but it just, in me, it just increased my fondness and loyalty
Here's how you.
to that
I think
brand.
this is how you fix this, especially on a show like Netflix that isn't ratings dependent, weekly ratings dependent. Is don't cancel a show at the end of its season, to let them know they're not coming back. Cancel a show halfway through or something. That way, at least tell the writers so they can have a chance to wrap it up. Do you want to talk about your funny books for a couple minutes?
We got Paul Allor coming in next Friday for First Friday. Nice. He's got the first 2 issues of Secret Empire, Brave New World, number 1 and number 2. And then he's also got from IDW, the very first issue of Clue just came out, based on the classic board game with hints and a little love thrown towards the movie. So if you're into the Clue movie, the Hasbro board game, stop by. Paul Allor, he's also worked for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe. So a little bit of everything. He's going to be at our First Friday event coming up, and that'll be fun and exciting.
Oh!
That's why you can't have nice things.
Shouldn't have done that.
So there you go. So this week we'll be going to go see Baby Driver, I think.
I want to see that.
We're going to check that out. Indespicable Me 3, I think we'll check out. So we'll have some movies to talk about next week, follow up on some of these television programs, as well as hopefully we can get Nick Gray to come in and talk about some upcoming video games.
We're only a little more than a week or so away from Spider-Man also.
Can't wait. I don't think is it a week? No,
It's like
not a week.
July
7th.
Because you got to think it's actually going to open on Thursday. So we're filming this on a Friday. So yeah, we're less than we're in like Christmas countdown mode as children now.
Yeah.
Holy cow!
We'll talk about that next week. Talk about some Spider-Man next week.
Cannot wait.
Spidey
So
news.
excited.
It's gonna be good.
It looks so fun.
It's gonna be good.
And they're saying now that that's the lead into Marvel Phase 4.
It absolutely
a
is.
Sony movie. Holy cow! There's also now a rumor going around that he's already appeared in like Iron Man 2.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that was a thing where they're just filtering in
That's some
something.
retcon there.
So but it looks interesting.
They might get in legal trouble for doing that. If they come out and officially say, if Kevin Feige comes out and says that was Peter Parker, why can't Sony say, you didn't have the rights to use Peter Parker?
I don't know.
I don't either.
All right, everybody, thanks for checking out GeekStorm. We'll see you next week when Sean and Michael come back to talk to you all about Baby Driver.